That was Cher again. I wanted to let's start with radio. But there's a few other areas where I think these trends are going to have an effect on what's going on. So radio, you have worked on hospital radio, and you've been involved in that as well.
Yeah, I was involved in Hospital Radio Exeter, and also when I was at Torquay College, Radioactive it was called, in Torbay. I was involved in that as well. I was presenting there as well.
But at this time, mostly you're working from home, creating podcasts and doing YouTube chat shows, let's say, more or less direct.
Yeah, so I'm on YouTube more than anything. So some of my YouTube shows are turned into podcasts and put on YouTube Music, for example, but most of my content is visual, so it's on YouTube, and I create short videos on there and live streams predominantly, and sometimes short videos as well, pre-made.
So what do you think is going to happen with radio and to some extent television? You can see that people are watching streaming platforms rather than broadcast as we've known it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually watch TV. I gave up TV years ago, and there's a reason for that. It's because the news, for example, is very, very bad for the mind. I talk about this in my Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook, which is another book we haven't talked about yet.
Well, we'll get to it later.
So actually, I don't watch the news on purpose because it's really bad. It instills fear into the mind. On purpose. So this is what I've learned in my personal professional journey. So I don't even have a TV license anymore. So
you're saying that the normal TV news is bad for the mind?
Yes.
Is brain rot. Whereas if you listen to the Today programme, they want to confiscate phones off kids because social media is such a disaster. Some would say.
Like I actually used to teach for the NHS how to recover from mental ill health using social media as an asset, which I don't think you knew about me. So I
didn't know that.
Yeah, I was actually employed by them, self-employed, and then employed by them on the staff bank as a peer trainer with lived experience of mental health. So it was called the Recovery Learning Community, which is part of the NHS, and they had to have 2 trainers per course. One was someone who's like the guy I was teaching with was from Mind, the mental health organisation, and then I was the person with lived experience, because I have lived experience of anxiety and in the past depression as well. And so I used to teach people how to use blogging to recover from mental health, and also I went on to teach Facebook and Twitter at that time, and it's how to use social media for the good. So there's loads of people that talk badly about social media, but if you use it in the right way, it can actually enhance your mental health. It depends how you're using it. If you're going on sites that, for example, if for example you're a trans person, but you're going on website pages or Facebook pages that have got comments that are anti-trans, for example, then that's not going to make you feel good. That's going to make you feel really bad, right? But if you're going on social media and you're in supportive groups, for example on Facebook, for trans rights and other people like yourself that understand you, that's going to make you feel much better because you're around people like-minded who are supporting you. So it's how to use social media in a good way, and I think that's what needs to be taught in schools, really, how to use social media effectively to enhance your mental health and enhance you feeling good about yourself. I could mention as well that recently I had a girl come on my Asexual Life channel, it was a chat show I was doing late at night on in March. Olivia's her name. Hello Olivia, if you're listening right now. And she's only 12 years old. Now, you can't have a YouTube channel if you're 12 and set it up yourself. You have to have like a parent doing it for you, otherwise you can't do it, obviously, because of age restrictions. But she is unfortunately being bullied at school, and I gave her like contact numbers of organisations she could contact to try and help her. She told me in chat live in front of everyone that the teachers won't do anything because they say they can't see the bullies doing it. And unfortunately, with our family situation is such that they can't do anything about this bullying. Now, while I wish so much I could do something personally about this, I don't know which school she goes to, and there's nothing I can personally do about it because I'm not involved directly in her life. But I told her, in a world like with the bullies that's trying to drown your voice out, what you should do is use your voice on YouTube and make your voice heard. So when you are, because I used to be bullied at school, so I really related to what she was saying, although she's autistic, and I think that's partly why she gets bullied. And I have autistic friends, and they should not be bullied. They've got a lot of special qualities and gifts. Their mind works in unique, beautiful ways, and they're able to accomplish things that an average person without that intelligence could not actually do. And in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, not medical professional, even though I've worked with the NHS. And so I told her to use her voice. I said, I know your voice is not heard at school. I know your voice is being drowned out, by the bullies. I said, so go on YouTube and use your voice and make it heard. And she is excelling now. She's nearly already up to 50 subscribers. When she gets there, she's going to do a live stream. She's copying my methodology in the sense of, I do videos about my daily life. And I literally just do short videos, like lifestyle vlogs constantly. And so on YouTube, you can be really professional, do polished thumbnails, put videos out there, all this latest tech, if you like, or you can be like me, raw, real, authentic, and consistently put out content of your daily life and document your life, which is a really good method, even if it's raw, real. And that's what she's doing, raw, real. So she's took the idea of doing raw, real content about her daily life, as a school kid, and all the artwork she does, like she does incredible artwork and stuff like that. And she's done a lot of stuff relevant to her age that's obviously got nothing to do with content I cover. And she's made it her own, and she's already got 100 videos on there, nearly 50 subs. And she's also got over 13,000 views already since the 1st of March. And she's just sailing away. And she's doing so well. And I want, that's what can be achieved. But so many adults are like scared of social media. They're scared of going on it. They're scared of their children going on it for the bad stuff. But this is the good stuff she's doing. She's empowering herself. She's giving herself a voice. She's growing an audience, and she's coming into her own. I wished when I was 12 and I was being bullied at school that I had this advice from someone. Use your voice where people want to hear it and where it makes you feel empowered. And the YouTube channel is like her own thing she can control when she feels out of control at school through what these people are doing, unfortunately. So does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. But can I just bring you back? Maybe there's no simple answer, but my query was what we can do with radio, because I think Phonic FM, for example, a lot of the people have got social media associated with each show, and Phonic's got its own social media, and places like Mixcloud and YouTube, aspects of the shows are repeated or clips are taken out and so forth. But I don't think we're doing a lot of it, and certainly radio as a format hasn't evolved as much as maybe it needs to, because whether or not phones are available to people in schools, there's a lot of evidence that they are watching a lot of stuff online. So there's no doubt that's where the viewing is going. So I don't know if you can't be expected to offer an instant solution to this, but I just wonder where you think radio and television, or people who depend on that, where that whole scene can be going.
A lot of it's going online, isn't it? Whether we like it or not, that's the problem. But I think there'll always be people who want community stuff because they like to feel part of something bigger than they are, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
So I don't know if the future is like having a radio station like with a cafe integrated into the same building or something. Maybe you could have like this is me being really creatively thinking, maybe you could have like a radio station cafe where, I don't know, you say that if they come into the cafe, then they can actually come as a guest on the show or something like that. I don't know, or they could ask for requests from the radio station while they're in the cafe and stuff like that, like innovative ideas like that.
So that was for a local. I mean, Phonics, we've now got a DAB signal which is well, it covers Plymouth and Torbay as well. But it started with an aerial or broadcast on the roof of the Phoenix, so it could just reach the area immediately around the Phoenix when the basement is for the studio. So it's very local, and obviously there's a cafe and a bar in the Phoenix, so that's sort of close to what you're saying.
Yeah, I once went to like a Butlins, and they had a very innovative. They had like a radio station on the actual Butlins site live. So
Right.
you could pop in there and ask for radio requests
Right.
in between going around Butlins, if you know what I mean. So it's like more relevant to the people there. It's like more of an entertainment thing, I guess.
Sure.
So that obviously that was funded by the actual Butlins itself. So I was talking about funding.
Right.
Like you get concessions in stores. There might need to be more like a radio station within stores where they've got a little if you want to talk about funding, they might need to be actually in another bigger environment so that it's not so costly, if you know what I mean. But in terms of like reach, all radio stations should be online, which I think they are these days, aren't they?
Mostly.
But with a lot of people consuming like content free on YouTube and stuff like that, then obviously a lot more people expect things to be free, don't they? Which I guess is another issue. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I think that's the direction. I just don't know the mechanics of how to do it. I mean, you are very successful in your YouTube channel, and it's partly because you concentrate on a particular topic and it's got a clear name, and so if you're consistent with that, people know what to expect from that channel. The problem, I think, for Phonic is it's got a very wide variety of genres of music, and the speech content is so various, it just spins off now and again more or less at random.
Yeah.
So this YouTube idea of a dedicated channel which is known for something and will attract subscribers because it's consistently dropping a podcast on that topic every 4 days or something, it's quite difficult for most people to maintain that.
Yeah, so I've actually expanded. So I just used to focus on asexuality, but now I've expanded into doing lifestyle vlogs as well of all different things in my life, because I realised that for me personally, if I was going to continue enjoying broadcasting and putting my show out, I wanted to create a different content, not just educational, but ones about my asexual life, so people can see the struggles of asexuality on a daily basis and what I get up to. So I do a lot of videos about food I eat. If I go out to an aquarium, for example, I'll film different bits of the aquarium so people get like entertainment with the aquarium. I'll take video footage of the zoo, because I went to the zoo and aquarium for my birthday recently. So I'll take videos of that, just little short videos for people. So it's because I find that being niched down, first of all, works really well, and then broadening works good to attract more people who want different things.
Okay. Well, maybe that's our top tip.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start with a niche, and then once people are subscribed, they'll find all sorts of things turn up.
Yeah, I mean, because I call it asexualize my asexual life, like I'm sharing all different aspects of my life, so it is covered under the title. So I think if you're doing a specific show, you need a title that reflects what all the content is about. So I like the fact, for example, Phonic FM is about Exeter's sound alternative, but then you expect to have alternative sound, but what is alternative to other people? Because you need to know what they're currently listening to, how this is alternative to the norm, if you know what I mean. But obviously the conversation is alternative, which could be maybe enhanced more. It's not just like extra sound alternative and talk alternative as well. That's the niche. Probably the unique selling point is the fact you talk about lots of different things. So maybe people need to understand more about the different types of programs and how they can find what they're looking for within your program schedule more. I don't know, like being on social media and having little snippets of different presenters talking about their shows more, and maybe having their own individual Facebook pages as well, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I know you've got your own YouTube channel, so
yes, yes. but I think it's too various. But anyway, that's for me to think about.
Yeah.
Look, we're running out. We're going to run out of time imminently. I will play another track, and then we'll just work out what we'll do. I think we got. Well, perhaps we'll risk how long we go on for. We've only got one studio phonic, so we've got to tidy up a little bit before 12 o'clock.
Is that for the next presenter?
That's for the next presenter. But explain. This is. Is that
the one you've got?
Enrique Iglesias.
Or have you got the Ricky
Yeah,
Martin?
that one. Sorry, Ricky Martin. Yeah.
Yeah, Private Emotion. This one's called.